For the third time in 5 years, Episcopal young people of high school age met to share and to discover more about themselves and their church. A record-setting 1,650 people gathered on the campus of Trinity University in San Antonio, Texas. The program theme was Open My Eyes. The 5.5-day event was busy morning to night.
I made it to the party at the EYE.
We enjoyed a variety of music. There was a great range of worship.
The giver of new life in Jesus Christ.
And there was plenty of recreation. Each day we met in our small groups. And we attended seminars and workshops which were of special interest to us.
No, that's me. You called my name. And then I got to know him, and he was one of the nicest guys I've ever met. I mean, I'm not gay, but I don't put him down because he is.
All over. I'm from Pennsylvania. I'm from Pennsylvania. I understand. Sometimes at work,
there was even personal time for relaxing and social events in the evenings. Each morning, we met together to sing and to hear from some outstanding guest speakers.
Give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your heart to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to
One very special guest was the presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church, the Most Reverend Edmund Lee Browning, who celebrated a very energetic opening Eucharist.
Full of your glory, Hosanna in the highest. Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, Hosanna in the highest. From evil, for thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Hallelujah! Christ, our Passover, is sacrificed for us.
Therefore let us keep the feast. Hallelujah.
When the darkness closes in, open your heart and see.
The next morning, Bishop Browning shared some thoughts with us.
Continue to say this. I felt more excitement and more enthusiasm last evening than I have at any other place of the church in 18 months. I guess the one thing that I wanted to say to you this morning, something about my faith, is a faith that has a perspective that God is present in his world in every situation. God is present in his world in every person. And we, as members of this church, are called to respond to that presence out of our life, out of our witness. That's the first thing I want to share about. In the last 18 months, the thing that has impressed me the most about the Episcopal Church is the diversity of this church. And sometimes diversity causes a lot of tension. Diversity of colors, diversity of cultures, the diversity of, how you interpret the Bible. Diversity is about what you think about abortion. Diversity is about what you think about sex. Diversity, what you think about family. But let me just say to you that it is the diversity of this church that makes up its beauty, that makes up its possibilities, that makes up its strength if we can ever bridge the gaps of the diversities that exist within this church. This body is about as diverse as the whole church. Explore that diversity. Let that diversity hang out. Come to learn how to respect that diversity and affirm it in a way that will make that kind of witness the kind of witness that is needed for the life of this church. My prayer for you and my prayer for me and my prayer for the church is that we really might be instruments of peace and joy. God bless you. Have a great time. Thank you very much.
Not only were there teenagers from all 50 states at San Antonio, but also 29 representatives from 8 Caribbean and Central American countries, which are part of the church's 9th province. There were also more than 40 Native American young people and resource persons
Wait, can we...
2 years of planning by this design team, made up equally of youth and adults, paved the way for a smooth and practically problem-free event.
Spread yourself out around the doors. Put a box somewhere.
There were dozens of volunteer adults who served as dorm coordinators, seminar leaders, and resource people. During the 5.5 days of the EYE, more than 20 different Eucharists were held, plus daily services of morning and evening prayer.
Justice and peace among all people, and respect the dignity of every human being.
I will.
I'd like to do this morning is I'd like to share with you 3 things, 3 particular learnings that I've had this week from my perspective at this particular Episcopal Youth Event. My eyes have been opened again this week, and I say again because I have learned this lesson over and over and over, but it has been especially strengthened in me this week, is how absolutely dependent we are on one another. I just think, there's no way I can say what a comfort it's been for me. Most of the dorm coordinators are very dear friends of mine, and I know that part of the reason they did it was for me, and part of the reason they did it was for all of you, because they care about what happens. The other thing is the resource people, the people who spoke, who planned, who did workshops, who did small groups, all the people that were here to help make this event possible gave of their time freely. Sometimes it's easy to forget that it takes us all, the participants in this conference, if we hadn't all at times really pulled together, even though at times we almost lost it, somehow we brought it back together. If we hadn't had that spirit of cooperation and interdependency, we would have had unmitigated, bigger chaos. And I really want to affirm the struggles we've had this week. It's in these struggles that we can learn and grow and see. I believe that for me, putting as much energy into the struggles as I do into the joy is what makes me grow and it's what makes a difference. There's one thing I know for sure, and that is in the struggle and the celebration, I'm not by myself. I'm with all of you. I take a little piece of all of you with me, and I'm with God's abundant love. And I believe that with all of you and with God's abundant love, my heart and all our hearts can be healed. Amen.
One day, each of our provinces gathered for its own Eucharist.
Took the cup of wine. When he had given thanks, he gave it to them and said, "Drink this, all of you. This is my blood of the new covenant, which is shed for you and for many for the forgiveness of sins. Whenever you drink it, do this for the remembrance of me."
Dance on a Friday when the sky turns black. It's hard to dance with the devil on your back. They buried my body and they thought I'd go, but I am the dance and I still go.
On another evening, there were 6 different types of service, ranging from a quiet healing service to a spirited folk mass. While at the same time, others attended a solemn high mass in the beautiful university chapel. Many others gathered to experience a traditional black gospel service.
It's really been great. I met a lot of people from all different parts of the country, and from the Virgin Islands and Panama. And I've learned to accept people as they are, not really, get to know them rather than just, be aware of the stereotypes and rather get to know them. Yesterday I went to a workshop, was How I Am Prejudiced, and it was really excellent. It really made me think about how I am prejudiced and how I can learn to handle that and fix that.
But let's be clear about how we're going to do it. Like, Meg, you had sort of a dialogue going, and you called on people, and I thought it worked well and it was orderly. If the speaker wants to do that, I think that's okay.
Probably the first one, the soapbox.
The first one, the soapbox on world issues.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you get out of it?
Everybody's view on the world is so diverse. I mean, everybody had a view, and
I couldn't agree with half of them. It was so bad.
Well, here there's not been any interracial discrimination at all, and it's really good because you really can't find that. I mean, you can find that in some places, but right here it's really great, and there hasn't been any I have seen.
The last thing my mom told me before I left was, now Texas is in the South. There are going to be a lot of Southerners there. But I mean, I haven't had to deal with that at all. So.
I mean, I'm one of those people that when I got my driver's license, my mother said, go to your grandmother's house and pick up the lawnmower.
The Spanish heritage of San Antonio and the growing Hispanic membership of our church were combined one evening when the entire group enjoyed a great fiesta dinner. The fiesta was followed by a colorful Spanish Eucharist.
Jesús dijo a sus discípulos, cuando el Hijo del Hombre venga, rodeado de esplendor y de todos sus ángeles, se sentará en su trono glorioso.
Porque este prejuicio no es solamente de parte de los blancos contra los negros o los latinos, es entre nosotros mismos que pareciese haber un prejuicio entre todas las razas. Sometimes it's good for people to feel that. Sometimes it's good to know. And I think the presiding bishop said in his message that one way of getting close to another person was to know their pain. So now you know a little bit of the pain of people that don't speak English and have to listen to stuff and have to look through and try to find it. And sometimes the inadequacy doesn't come from listening and not understanding, but expressing themselves and being laughed at or not understood. And so maybe we can have some intimacy tonight because we know each other's pain a little more. One of the big things that we could try to get rid of is prejudice. I think we're prejudiced basically because we are very insecure and we don't value who we really are. We're afraid of our own inadequacy. And many times we're prejudiced because we're so afraid of that which is different from what we are. And so all of us have had to break through that barrier throughout this week. We've had to overcome prejudice. And I think that the only way we can possibly do that is by sharing moments of intimacy.
Siempre que lo vean, háganlo como memorial mío.
Later, we were treated to special entertainment from a number of the Hispanic participants.
I think it's the atmosphere here, it's the closeness of the people, and how I feel very much at home. Even though I don't know anyone, I can speak to everyone, and I feel as though I know them.
It's very fun. It's very meeting a lot of new people, and for me, it's a different experience where I have to push myself to be a little bit more aggressive, you know, meeting people and learning other things. The most important thing that I value in this event is the small groups. We just came from those. And the last session we had was a really emotional one. And I never felt anything like it at all.
There's so much energy and love in this community. So much potential for something positive.
Also, I've had lots of different views on things because pretty much where I live, everyone has the same view.
Well, I think it's given us a broader outline on how the youth affect the Episcopal Church altogether. Because you see, you have a gathering of people from all over the country, different countries in the world, and all over, just all over.
Usually you see the youth, just like in the church, you know, 3 or 4 pew, silent, shut up by their mothers and fathers and stuff. But like here, this is our, I mean, we can dance, we sing,
party. Or we could take back the excitement that's bottled up in this conference and bring it back to our own churches. So maybe it'll be a little more exciting instead of the usual.
With a proposal, a resolution, which will be offered by the 9 provinces of our church represented in their presidents, who in some form will call upon the whole church to take a look at the history of youth ministry in the Episcopal Church, its present status, and report to the next General Convention for proposals for funding and for action related to making young people and their ministries full participants in the life of this church.
I'm Jessica, and we were a single parent group, and this was our facilitator. But I'm going to talk because they think I'm shy, and I have to prove I'm not. And we found that coming from families that have divorced parents, that we have a lot of similarities, but we also have a lot of differences. We just talked about the differences between how our parents act now. And some of our parents are really dependent upon us now that they've gotten divorced, but some of our parents have become really.
My dad, but from my friends who live on the lakes and they see these reservation Indian people, and what stopped it for me was getting to know a few of them and having my eyes pried open by getting to know a few of them. And going back to what you said earlier about how we can unlearn them, is instead of having to have something come along and pry our eyes open, to open your own eyes. And like sitting here today, talking and hearing everyone else talk, I felt like there's been pillows pulled away from in front of my face. Now, if we can pull our own pillows away from our faces, we can open our lives up so much wider. That's right.
Banners and T-shirts proudly proclaim the diversity of our church's youth. And as eyes and minds were open to a wider vision of growth in Christian life and service, these hundreds of participants took home with them a part of that shared spirit.